Welcome to episode number 4.
Right, do you know what we're doing in this episode?
I really do not.
You don't?
Because you said
So,
something deep.
Yeah, so
That's your
today we're
explanation.
going to go deeper into parenthood.
Okay,
And
sure.
also go deeper into your life.
My life.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, do I get to finish my story that I was telling you earlier?
Yeah, you get to finish that story. But more importantly, I want us to talk about friends,
Okay.
friends, boys,
Okay.
temper, anger, career,
Okay.
all of that.
Okay, cool.
Mommy called me and she said that anytime you guys are watching movies, she pauses the movie and says, "So what do you think the lesson is here?" Does she do that a lot?
Okay, so yes
Does she?
and no.
Yes or no? Okay.
Because watching movies with mommy is hard.
I know. Did she tell
Hard.
you?
It will take like 2-3 days to get through a movie because like every 5 minutes she has to pause it and give like a whole long speech about how like hard life is or something.
Is this like every movie you watch?
Not every movie because if it's like a funny movie or something like that. But for majority of movies, there has to be at least 3 times in the movie she has to pause it and just
And then give you a bit of a monologue.
Yeah.
As to how hard life is.
Yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
that is what she does. But yeah, usually there is always something to learn from it. But yeah,
Do you like it when she pauses the movie and starts to lecture you?
I mean, I just want to watch the movie, but what she's saying, it makes sense, and it
does
kind of
make
adds
sense.
to the value of the movie as well
yeah,
because I understand it in a different way.
Yeah. That's a good point you've raised, value.
Yeah.
Right. So in my life, there are people that add value to my life and there are people that don't.
Okay.
So the people that add value to my life are on speed dial. The people that don't are like acquaintances, like
Yeah,
pals,
they're just the
people that I
buddies.
see when I see. I make no plans to actually go out of my
Yeah,
way
yeah.
to see you. Because when I see you, you add zero value to conversations, to my life.
Yeah.
Have you been able to identify those friends? Because we could start with friends before we move to boys and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So you have friends in your life that you feel add value to your life.
Yeah.
So when I was your age, there were 2 friends particularly that added value. One who I didn't particularly like because he didn't like the things that I like to do.
Yeah.
I liked to act, sing, He just wanted to learn and study.
Okay.
And he was one of the best in the class.
Okay.
He runs his own major company in America now. He's a
Okay.
top
Wow.
dog
Yeah.
in his field. He's called Timothy Colton. He was a pleasant guy, and I got to sit under him sometimes to teach me stuff. So we didn't share interest, but he had value in my life because of what he could offer me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when we say, what value does Shakina, Peter, Paul have in my life, it's not about sharing interest. It's about what they can add to make your life better.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was not that great with chemistry. I knew I wasn't that great. I knew with him, I could, pass my exam because he could help me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So that being said, the friends in your life now, the inner circle, Kayla's inner circle, can you say that every one of them adds value? And let me just add one more thing before you answer that question. Someone listening might say that, why are you asking her that question? She's only 14.
Yeah.
But as I've just described,
It
even
makes an impact.
people at the age of 10, 12, 14 can still have value in your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right, like you're 14.
Yeah.
You don't give me money. You don't. But you add value to my life because you're my child. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, I'd like to see you. I would like to know what your thoughts are on this.
Okay. So, yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay.
Yeah, because
I love the honesty.
Because my inner circle is very weird.
It's very weird.
It's very weird, and not in terms of behavior. Because all of my friends, I have friends that we can always have fun. We can always, make jokes, all of that, right?
Yeah.
But there's certain friends in there that I don't really feel like they add value.
Right.
And
So why are they there?
because okay, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Let me give an example. One of my friends, love her to bits.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually used to think she add much value because we weren't that close before, but that doesn't really make a difference, right? I didn't really think she added that much value because most of our conversations was her like needing to rant about something or like having some kind of issue, which wasn't really a problem because you know how I am. I like to like listen to people. I like to solve people's problems, all of that. But I feel like as I've gotten to know her a bit more, I realized that she actually does add value because alongside the help and support and guidance that I give her, she always gives that back to me. And within herself as well, I think she's kind of coming into herself more as a person and like putting up boundaries with her friendships, her relationships, all of that. And like we can all see, all of our friends, we can all see that clear difference in her. So I feel like as she's started to grow as a person, she's also started to add more value to the friendships around her, the important ones.
Absolutely. And I think that the older you get, the more you know yourself, the more you start to accept who you are, and the more you develop yourself, the more a value you are to other people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that I completely get.
Yeah. And then there's some people, so aside from that, there's a few friends that I have like that I didn't used to realize it before, but as they've kind of, re-entered my circle, I've realized that they actually do add value.
Yeah.
And then there are some that is kind of disguised. So on surface, it seems like they add value because, I don't know, they'll give me advice every once in a while or whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
But there's certain friends that I know, and I have 2 friends that I can think of off the top of my head like this. One of them's I'm not really that close with. I have 2 friends that I can think of like this, that in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, I know I'm never going to speak to them again.
Okay. Why?
And I recognize that now. We're friends now, but I know that it's just, we're not going to be friends in the future.
Yeah. Why?
Because I know because I've known them for a while and I've observed and I've analyzed the behavior.
Right.
And also like the carelessness,
Yeah.
Because some people, and it's also culture as well.
Yeah.
Because in certain households, some people don't really realize the things that they say that are kind of messed up.
Yeah.
So, for example, I have this one friend, right? And we've kind of grown apart now because we're not in the same classes anymore.
Yeah.
But we used to be like very close.
Yeah.
And she's in my P class, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, as you know, quite a few I go to a predominantly Asian school, and quite a few of the people in my school that have also called me friends in the past are quite racist.
Yeah.
So this friend, I didn't used to consider her racist like at all. She's not like rude or anything like that, right? But it's the small things that I've started to notice on in the last like year or so.
Yeah.
And I realized last year when we were in the same classes together, when the lights go off, she says, "Oh, Kayla, where are you?"
Right.
Stuff like this. And it's a common thing in my school, right? And just in general, like you do stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But I've started to realize that even though this is the behavior that circles around and it's normal and it's just jokes and it's just bants, in the long run, even though she might not understand that that's not normal, and honestly it's not actually that funny.
Well, I just laughed, didn't I?
I know you just laughed.
It's a bit of a...
But for someone who's in it day to day, every time the lights go off, oh, where are you?
But I'm not in any way condoning what she said. It's just, for me, because I've lived longer than you, I've endured that much more. I've endured much more of that than you have. Yeah. For me, it's just, at some point, I just start to laugh at the ignorance.
That's the thing.
That comes with that.
It doesn't upset me.
Yeah.
It doesn't upset me that she says that. I'm not like triggered by it or anything like that.
No, of course.
But I realized like stuff like that, small microaggressions like that. I realized that this isn't like a good friendship.
So let's go back because I'd like to get your thoughts on what you think racism is.
Okay.
Right. What do you actually think racism is? Because I guess for me, I don't know if you heard over the phone yesterday, I was talking to my mum,
your mum,
about a similar situation.
No, I was
Right?
not there.
Yeah, of course you didn't hear that. But
I was in my
but
room.
I think that anytime anyone that's racist is approached and said, "Hey," and then someone says, "Oh, you're racist," they say, "Oh no, I'm not racist. I've got black friends." Da, da, da. So what do you think racism is?
I will answer that.
Yeah.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
I've heard of this term. I don't know exactly what it means.
Yeah.
White fragility.
White fragility.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is either, but I guess we can.
I don't know much about it, but what I've kind of gathered is that when someone is accused of being racist or having racist views or opinions, it's a victim mentality that you're being like targeted or,
Yeah, so
shut down.
So discomfort and defensiveness on the part of a white person when confronted by information about racial inequality and injustice. I didn't know this term, but I guess it means exactly what it says, right? Mm-hmm. So we're saying white people are fragile about that. Mm-hmm. They get uncomfortable about that.
Yeah.
And I think for a white person that is middle class, let's say, for example, me, right? I'm a deputy director in a hospital. And then there's a white person who is a porter in the hospital. Confronting that porter saying about racism might feel very hard it might feel like a hard pill for him to swallow because he's like, what do you mean? I'm here, a white person. If I had white privilege, why am I not the CEO? Why am I not the deputy director? Why is the black guy the deputy director?
Yeah.
So some people struggle to accept the fact that there is racism. Forget about them being racism. We're not even talking about that. Just the fact that there is racism.
Yeah.
And racism isn't shouting slur words at a black person.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of your race being superior to another and that your race should have more privileges than the other. It's all of that put together in my head, in my mind. That's how I see what racism is.
Yeah.
So then that begs the question, can a black person be racist?
Yes.
Right. There are a million black people that will disagree with you.
I know.
Right? Because a lot of people tie racism to slavery.
Yeah.
For them, they can't see the difference between the two. So for them, there is no way black people can be racist to white people because the money, the wealth of the world is currently controlled by white people. Okay. It's like saying Ghana is racist to Britain. How is that possible? Because, so people can't separate racism and slavery.
Okay, well, let's use your definition.
Yeah.
You said that you think racism is the idea that one race is superior to another, right?
It's one of many definitions, but let's see what the system, what Google says.
Lady Google.
Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of membership of a particular racial or ethnic group. So it's not getting the job because you're black. It's not getting an opportunity because you're black. Is not giving you equal opportunities that white Asians will get because you're black, or because you're Asian, or because you're Hispanic, or whatever. That's what racism is. Okay,
well, I understand why many black people think that that black people can't be racist because for a very long time we've been at the bottom of the list for all of those opportunities, for all of those jobs, everything. Right. So I understand where that sort of victim mentality comes from, that because I don't have these opportunities, because I am not as high up as this person, I can't be racist to them.
They're right. They're right and wrong. For me, I'm a perfect example for you to use, right?
Okay.
Because I told you this. I work in Cardiff and I work in the headquarters of Cardiff and Vale.
Okay.
Health board.
Yeah.
And within the health board, that headquarters is one standalone building. It's 3 floors. And in those 3 floors, I'm the only black person. These are the directors.
What, in the whole building?
Yes.
Okay.
There are 2 mixed race people in that building as well. But I'm the only black person in the building. Right?
Okay.
And the 2 mixed race people they don't like me. They don't have an accent. They're not from Africa like that. They've probably never been. I don't know. One of their parents was probably black, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that I'm a DEI hire. Do you know what a DEI hire is? A diversity, equality, inclusion. I feel that I've earned my place because I am bloody good at my job.
You are.
So the question now stands, so someone sees the structure of the hospital and they don't see black people and you're like, oh, this hospital is racist. But actually, have you actually tried to apply for these jobs?
Yeah.
Actually get the required experience that you need and then apply for these jobs?
Okay.
I don't know. I struggle with this. I have to be very honest.
Okay, so what do you think is worse? The building not having many black people or only hiring black people for a diversity hire? Which one is worse?
What do you mean? Like, I didn't get the second bit.
To only hire black people as a diversity hire.
Right. So
Or is it just like, oh, well, at least you're here. At least you're here. How do you see that?
So which one is worse? Having white people or having black people? Is that what you're saying? I don't get the question.
Okay, which one do you find worse? The fact that the hospital doesn't have many black people at all.
Black people in senior positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or would you rather having black people there, but only because of a diversity hire?
You see, that's where we have a problem because you see what's happening in America now. Donald Trump and his goons are like getting rid of DEI because they don't believe you should give a job to somebody because of the color of the skin.
Yeah.
That's in fact racism, isn't it?
Okay.
So I believe that there has to be a representation of the community within the company.
Okay.
If you started a company, which I'm hoping you do soon,
Yeah.
the people in that company need to represent the people in the community. So if you had a company, let's say in East Ham,
Yeah.
and every member of that company was white, I'll be very concerned because what that tells me is that you're not giving opportunities to the people within that community, which is predominantly Asian people. In Cardiff is like London. It's very multicultural. There are lots of people from different ethnicities there.
Okay.
It's not as diverse as London.
Okay.
Because I don't see a lot of black people as I would in London.
Yeah.
But they are there, lots.
Okay.
But they are not in senior positions. Would I rather we do DEI? No, absolutely not. Because I think that if I go for a job and Peter Peterson goes for the same job.
Peterson, yeah.
And Peter Peterson has more experience, I think that the company will be doing themselves a disjustice. Disjustice, is that a word?
Disjustice.
Injustice, that's the word.
Yeah, injustice.
The company will be doing themselves an injustice to hire me just because I'm black.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think that you should hire the right person, but make sure that your job adverts are going everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. So even if you're a company in Chelsea, put your advert in Stratford, in East Ham. Put it everywhere so that people can see it. Yes, it contradicts what I initially said by making sure you're recruiting people from your community. Yeah. But that's the problem, isn't it? Because if everybody did that, then that would be fine. But people aren't doing that.
Yeah.
So what we're saying to companies is make sure that your job advert goes everywhere so that people from all ethnicities can apply for your jobs. So the answer to your question is no. I would rather the best candidate gets the job.
Okay. Makes sense, yeah.
So coming back to your friends, do you think that they are, or that particular friend, do you think that they're racist or prejudiced?
Okay, so the thing is for me is that I see it as culture. Because in these households, people, they don't like black people. And I think
but then that's not culture though. That's racism.
Wait, I think it's ignorance.
Yeah. So the catalyst for racism is inconsequential. It's irrelevant, right? So it's just like someone being caught for stealing an apple in a shop and say, well, yeah, but I was hungry. I don't care. You're not supposed to steal.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, so it's a very similar thing. Oh, you're racist. Oh, I'm racist because, you know, I was brought up when my parents, I'm sorry, there's Google, there's information out there, and there's enough knowledge out there. There are books out there. There are people that you could read from. So the catalyst and the reason for you being racist is, I don't care, because you should know better. So I know culture is a big thing. Yeah. I know the parents are a big factor as well. Yeah. Because for me, if I was always saying that don't talk to any white person, white people are the devil, you're gonna grow up like that. If me and mommy were saying that to you, you will grow up like that. You will never have any white friends because you think the white people are the devil. Yeah. So what the parents say to the kids super important.
Yeah.
But you can't then forgive the kid for being racist because they're racist regardless. So your job when that happens is to educate your friend. Go on. Why are you lifting up your hands?
Sorry, I just do that. I'm in like my classroom mode. Okay. I think something that I also struggle with is it's hard to recognize when someone is being racist because everyone is.
Wow. Then again, are we sure it's racism or prejudice? What are we? Because I don't want us to use the term loosely.
Okay, well, let me rephrase that then.
Yeah.
The behavior that, for example, is shown by my friend.
Yeah.
It's hard to distinguish what it is because it is shown so commonly, and it's
Right. So when that happens, do you see? It's very different because for me, I don't get that at all at work. Because I think adults have been weaned out of that, oh, it's just a joke type of conversation. They know there's nothing which is a joke because HR is just next door. So for kids, I feel like I probably was in the same position as you. But what do you do when these things happen? Let's go back to that classroom incident when the light went off and she said she couldn't find you. What did you say and what did you do?
I was going to say something. I just forgot what I was going to say. Okay, so the thing is, it's hard to... Okay, so the common response that people would expect with this is that you wouldn't be friends with someone anymore. If you thought that someone was being racist to you, someone was being whatever, you wouldn't really be friends with this person anymore. But I think for me and for other black people that I've spoken to in my school, it's hard to like just disassociate because it's everywhere, you know? So if I was to disassociate myself from this person...
No, I'm not asking you to.
Let me finish. If I was to disassociate myself from this person, then I would not have many friends, which isn't what I did. And it isn't my first response because I know this.
Again, I'm not asking you to
I know you're not asking me to.
So what are the alternatives?
Just smile through it.
That is... You what you've described is the worst possible way of problem solving. You're saying that because I can't solve the problem, I accept the problem. That's literally what you're saying.
That's what happens.
That's not what it should be.
Okay, what should it be?
You have parents and people in your life that are super well educated that have been guiding you around these topics for a very long time. If someone was racially abusive, I'm pulling them up on it right there and then. I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm not going to do all of that. But I'm going to ask them, do you really understand what you've just said? Do you understand that that is offensive? Oh, no, I didn't mean to be offensive. That's okay. I actually believe that you didn't mean to be offensive.
Yeah.
But do you know the meaning of what you've just said? No, I was just playing. Okay, well, then you educate them. It means that a lot of the hours of your school life will be used to educate people.
Majority,
but you have to. You can't tell me, because you're too smart for that. Tell me there are only two options. You either not be their friend or you live with it. That is absolutely not it.
I did not say that. I said that was one of the options.
Yeah, but you said that's what you... I asked you what the alternative is.
I said that's what happens.
Yeah, but the
majority of the time,
the best thing to do is to educate people. You pull them up on it right there and then. Don't wait a week, don't wait a month, don't wait an hour. Right there. Hey, can I have a quick word? And talk to them about it.
In the middle of the lesson.
Yeah. Not in the middle of the lesson. I mean, when the lesson is over, as you're leaving the class, do you have a minute? What you just said there. Because the thing is, to be fair, I don't think that there's malicious intent from your friends. I don't personally think that. I just think they're ignorant.
Yeah.
And I have been ignorant before. I've said some ignorant things about white people. I ain't going to lie. Right?
Yeah.
But the onus is on us to educate ourselves, or the people that parent us to educate us, and the people around us, the community, to educate each other. So you, knowing better, need to be able to pull people up.
Okay.
I don't need you to say okay to me for podcast purposes. I need you to be able to do it going forward, because you're very smart.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they will be scared. Once you start to pull them up, they won't do it again.
Yeah.
Because they need to understand what they're doing. You, first of all, need to be very clear on what racism is. And then you need to be able to educate them on, prejudice, racism, nepotism, all of that. Nepotism wouldn't affect you guys just yet, but as you're growing up, it will start to creep into your lives. People get opportunities because they know people. You won't get it because you don't know them.
Yeah.
So much that you guys have not been exposed to just yet. And I'm really happy for you, because I feel like you're educated and you're well informed. But it's on you to start to support your friends when they come at you and say things that are stupid.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it, yeah? Going forward?
Okay, deal.
Spud.
Oh, shake my hand.
Okay. There we go. That's what you get.
You and your germophobia.
I need to go wash my hands. Okay, so that's that.
Okay.
Boys. We need to talk about boys.
Okay.
Because Mommy told me that me and you don't talk that can't even speak English. Deep talk stuff.
We don't.
I said it's very much Mommy's job, because she loves that topic. Oh my God. Every time she talks to you, she calls me and wants to tell me what you guys have discussed and
Really? She tells you everything?
Yeah, not every single thing, because she knows me. I don't need to know. I don't care. But I'm more concerned about your future. Do you understand?
Okay.
And Mommy is not a boy. She's not a man.
Yeah.
So she'll never understand what it is to be a man. The only men you have in your life are who? Me, Uncle, Marco Robbie, granddads, all the other granddads.
Yeah.
Right? And they've never had this conversation with you, have they? So I'm going to have this conversation with you.
Okay.
Right? Boys are great. Let's start there.
That's such a good starting line. Okay.
Boys are great.
Boys are great. Cool.
Because they end up growing up to become men, to build the roads that you drive on, to build the schools, to really build the infrastructure of the world. So they're a pivotal part in the way the world works. But at the age of 1 to maybe 21, boys are dumb.
Okay. Including you.
I was.
Okay.
I was picking my nose when I was a teenager. I was living in Africa, running around, playing in the sun. I was just silly.
Okay.
First of all, women grow faster than men. I don't know if anyone has scientifically proven that.
I think it has been scientifically proven.
I don't know. I don't know if they do. I just feel that girls are thrown into the deep end very quickly, very early in their lives.
What do you mean by that?
At the age of 10, you were thrown into a completely new world where you had to be responsible for your periods. Boys don't have that.
Yeah.
Boys have no reason to be responsible until they leave their parents' house. There is no, let me make sure I have pads in my bag, because I don't want to embarrass myself. Let me make sure I have this, let me make sure I have that.
Yeah.
Boys don't have that ever. Think about it.
Yeah.
The level of responsibility that you had at the age of 10, some 18-year-old boys didn't have that.
Okay.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I feel, I don't know if there's any book out there someone scientist was proving it, but I feel women grow faster because of that one particular point.
Just that. Really?
That is the catalyst for me. I don't know. I'm not a woman, but I think that because you're thrown into responsibility very early on, your life is more calculated from a very early age than boys. At the age of 10, do you know what I was doing? I was just running around being an idiot. I was skipping class sometimes because I wanted to do acting. I was going to the market. I was being stupid. At the age of 10, you knew when your cycle was. You knew when to buy. You were making sure there was pads in grandma's houses. It's different life. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So that's one. Number two, you have a life ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
Well, I need you to be able to say it.
Yeah.
Because it's your life.
Yeah.
99% of everybody in your life will end up being working class, middle class maybe, making ends meet through a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
The 1% will probably be, high earners making stupid amount of money. But majority of you are going to be earning basic wages and living middle class, working class lifestyle. For you now, my goal, me and mommy's goal, is that you're able to sit within that 1%.
Okay.
That's so important for me, because mommy will tell you, I bet she's told you, life is hard. You lot
Every day when she comes back from work, yeah.
Yeah. You lot are trying to grow up. You don't understand. You do not. I just paid my council tax. Guess how much my council tax was? I moved into Cardiff, my place in Cardiff, on the 27th of January. And my council tax at the end of this month. Guess how much I paid for those 9 weeks?
I have no idea.
Just give me a number.
I don't know, 2,000.
Oh, okay. Now you're overdoing it.
Okay.
Council tax is not that expensive.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
I paid £450 for my council tax.
Okay.
That's council tax.
Okay.
And I have to pay 1,000 something for my rent. It's hard.
Okay.
So I am trying to make sure that you don't have to sit within that 99%. The distraction that boys bring is to satisfy a need that is not necessary to be satisfied now. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But I need you to stop me and challenge me if you think anything that I'm saying is foolish.
No, I'm listening.
Right?
I'm listening.
And so, what is the priority now for a teenager? What should the priority be? GCSEs. Let me tell you something. Without a good GCSE, you will never make it in life. Unless, of course, you go through the non-traditional jobs, become a podcaster, streamer, all of that. Because the basic education that every employer is looking for is GCSE. Even McDonald's. To say, hi, may I help you? Oh, you want a Big Mac? Okay, super. Even that, you need a GCSE. GCSE is not a joke. Does that make sense? So that has to be your priority, nothing else.
Fair enough.
When you pass that and you're able to go into, what is it here? The GCSE, is it A-levels or university? A-levels. A-levels.
It's A-levels and uni.
A-level. And it's 2 years A-levels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sixth form.
And then when do you pick your course in university?
I don't know.
Probably A2. Because AS is the first year, A2 is the second year, isn't it? So you pick your course in university. There, I'm hoping between now and then, you will have done enough with your creative side and decided what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You either go into novel writing, you go into playwriting,
Yeah.
you do your podcast full time, you do all of that. but you got too much on to be distracted.
Yeah.
I had friends in Ghana who had children when they were teenagers. There, two of them sell in Medina Market. Medina Market is a market that surrounds my primary school.
I know.
My primary school in Ghana was right in the middle
middle
of the market.
Yeah.
She sells in Medina Market. She now has like 6 kids. There is no future if you go down that path. Now, I have to say, I am not in any way disillusioned of the fact that teenagers start to have feelings for each other.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
some of your people may have boyfriends. Some of your friends may have boyfriends. You told me of your friend that has a girlfriend. Know how she decides she's gay at this time, but okay. So I'm not disillusioned by that.
Okay.
I'm not being stupid at all because I know that that's possible.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I was a teenager myself. But it's about what is more of a priority.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The truth is, Kayla, you think you're 14 years old now. Close your eyes and open it. You're going to be 18 soon. I promise you, it will come so fast, yeah? You will be here when you're 18. Hopefully, it will be a much bigger podcast. It will come so fast. And when you're 18, that's it. Life completely changes because in your head, you think you're an adult. By that time, you're preparing for university or you're probably already in university. Are you in university at the age of 18? Maybe you're about to go to university. Things will go fast. Life, listen, I remember when I came to this country, it's 20 years now since I came here. 20 years. Actually, 19 and a bit. So the point I'm trying to make is two points, really. One, what's priority?
Yeah.
You have to answer that question.
Okay.
And I know you're 14, but you have to answer that. That's your life.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Kayla, it's your life.
Yeah.
Whatever you choose to do with it, it's your life. And you're going to pay the consequences or reap the benefits, whichever one, of your life. My job as your father is to try to make you understand what life is. It's not easy. Life is also rewarding. When you get older, you don't need daddy's permission to do A, B, C, D. You can live your own life, have your own bank account, So the freedom is there. But that means you have to pay your own bills. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the feelings will come. The feelings are there. But what is the priority? Yeah.
Getting an education.
Yeah. Get an education and then what?
Well, right now, just, housework and making sure I'm not being naughty. And all that.
But for the future, it's about the future, right?
Yeah.
So the priority is getting an education, but it's also making sure that you set yourself up
For success.
for success.
Yeah.
Kayla, retail is not fun. I tell you that much. Your mom did retail. I did retail. It's not fun.
Yeah.
The hours are ridiculous. We both worked in Westfield. Retail on Christmas Eve, you work till 11 p.m. Retail is not fun. Office work is not fun. 9 to 5 is not fun. I am most happiest when I'm rehearsing for a show. That's where I'm in my happy place because I'm doing what I love to do and I'm having the best time of my life.
Yeah.
Right? But it doesn't pay the bills. That's why I'm, So your priority now has to be, how do I set myself up and put myself in the best possible position to be successful in life? I know you love your mom, but the life your mom lives is not the life that you're going to live.
Yeah.
You're going to do much better than me. But you have to start now, which means, one, you need to learn how to save money. I never knew how to do that. I think it was only when I turned 29, 30, when I started earning better money, that I had my own budget spreadsheet. I started saving money properly.
Oh, mommy shows me her spreadsheet.
There are adults today that don't know how to save money. One of my very, very good friends always gets broke a week and a half after she gets paid. Always calling and asking, Jesse, can I have this? Jesse, can I have that? I was in that position years ago where I was really struggling. And it's not because I wasn't paid money. I was paid because I was working, but I just didn't know how to save. So when I give you the allowance every week, it's so that you learn how to save. It's not so that you can have money. You don't need it, because whatever you need, you can call me and I'll buy it for you. But it's so that you can start to learn how to save. At the end of the year, you say, yes, I've been able to save this money. If you start now, when you get older, 80% of adults in the UK don't have £1,000 in their savings account, apparently. 80%. That means no one knows how to save. I don't know if the percentage is 80%. I saw this somewhere.
High.
I think 80 or 60%. I think it might be 60. I don't know.
That's probably more accurate.
Don't have a minimum £1,000 in your savings account. Minimum 1,000. We say, that in a rainy day, you should have 3 times your salary in case you lose your job to keep you going until you get a next job. So even if they don't have £1,000, do you think they have that? No, they don't.
Yeah.
Saving is hard. I don't cuss anyone out for not knowing how to save, because I have struggled with it for a very long time. Even now, sometimes I struggle with it because, I get calls from Ghana. Oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. Then it becomes a bit of a problem. You have to dip into your savings.
Yeah.
But if you don't learn it now, Kayla, I promise you, you're going to struggle. So at the end of this year, I want to see a spreadsheet from you. I will give you mine, or Mummy can give you hers.
I'll use that one.
Yeah. And then I want to see how much you saved each month up until the end of the financial year.
From today? From this month?
From April.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah? From April to the end of the calendar year, December, I want you to show me month after month, based on the allowance that I give you, how much you've saved at the end of December.
Okay.
Yeah? I don't care, to be honest, how much you save for this first year.
Yeah.
But if you can show me a spreadsheet that you've been able to save money every month to the end of the December, I will give you £100.
Okay.
Okay? If you're able to prove, you have to come closer. If you're able to prove to me that you know how to save,
Yeah.
and know how to document your saving at the end of December, I will give you £100.
Okay.
Yeah? And then the next year, we're going to actually set you a savings target.
Okay,
Yeah?
cool.
So you have to tell me what your target is, and you got to meet it.
For this year?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You tell me what your savings target is for this year, and you have to hit your savings target. I know I only give you £10 a week, but you've got to hit that savings target for this year. If you hit that savings target, I'll give you £100 at the end of the year.
Okay.
And then next year, I will set your savings target. Because maybe next year I might increase your allowance.
Okay.
Kayla, there's so much for you to do, and I don't want you to mess up.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
You and Mummy have had a lot of conversations about boys, so now you can tell me what you've learned so far. Because your mom, anytime Janelle calls me and wants to talk to me about these topics, she never stops. She just goes. So I need you to tell me what you've learned so far and where you are in your life at the moment.
You know what? I feel like it's not really, the conversation isn't, I don't really think it's about boys necessarily.
Yeah.
I think it's more about healthy relationships and sex and all of that kind of stuff. I don't think it's about
it.
I don't think it's really about crushes and all of that.
Yeah.
I think, but I think is what you said. I think it basically sums it up, that even though, it's teenage years and whatever, the priorities have to remain set.
Yeah.
All the distractions are there, but...
Yeah. Good. I was telling a friend of mine last week, an adult, she didn't even know.
Know what?
Do you know that there is something called, there are STDs?
Yeah.
Do you know of an STD called gonorrhea?
Yeah.
Right. Do you know of an STD called super gonorrhea?
No.
Right. So even if you wear a condom, you still get this STD.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's so much risk that kids play around with that they don't understand because they're not educated. I work in a hospital, so I see a lot of people come into the sexual health clinic, a lot of them. And I feel bad for them because it's if you had taken precautions, if you had abstained, if you had focused on your life, you probably wouldn't have been here. Now, they're not in any way lesser than me, right? But it comes down to what the priorities are. Focus on you, focus on being better.
Yeah.
Focus on being the best version of yourself. Because remember the conversation we had earlier? The best version of yourselves attracts the best version of others, right?
Okay.
That's why, you know.
Yeah, we have a quote in the house, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Precisely, right?
Love that one.
So if you upgrade yourself, you would only get people on that same level.
On your same level, yeah.
Not here. The people here will be scared to even talk to you. They will be. You know, there are some female celebrities that guys crush on. Do you think they have the guts to talk to them? No, they don't.
Yeah.
Right? So when you upgrade yourself, the only people that, you know, will be in your circle are people that have also done similar work on themselves and are then worthy of your time. A lot of these might sound very pompous and arrogant to certain people.
Yeah.
I don't care what they think. I only care about making sure that you do better than me. You do better than mommy. You do better than Grandma Janice, my mom, my dad, everybody.
Yeah.
You have to be the exemplar person in all our families. But it means that you have to make sacrifices. So where it feels like, oh, it'd be nice to go clubbing, it'd be nice to do all of that. The question is, what benefit does it add to your life?
Yeah.
You always have to ask the question, whatever you do, does it add benefit? The people in your life, do they add value? If they don't, they can still be your friends, but they can't be within your inner circle.
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. That was the second thing I wanted to talk about. There was something else that I wanted to talk to you about. Career. I still don't know what you want to do when you grow up. What is it that you want to do?
That's the question we all hate. Leave us alone.
Is it because you just don't want to make a decision just yet, or what is it?
I think because obviously in the last few years I've done a lot and I've gone through quite a few interests. Obviously I had my interior design phase and my...
What do you mean phase? I thought you still like it.
I still enjoy that actually. I really wanted it. And the obviously walking blind and walk around and all of that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm still
figuring it out
because of all this stuff that I actually enjoy around me. I think I need to like narrow it down because I enjoy all of this stuff, but it's kind of clouding a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like in the vicinity, but you know. So,
okay, so let's talk about these roles then, and let me tell you what their salaries are.
Okay.
So the salary for a novel writer in the UK is probably around 30 to 40K.
Okay. That's like average, right?
Yeah, that's like average wage for anyone in the UK.
Okay.
That's for a novel writer. Mm-hmm. Okay. The salary. What else did you want to do? A playwright. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the salary for a playwright in the UK is probably going to be the same amount, maybe more, depending on what type of plays you're writing. Well, no, it's actually 30 to 35 per year.
Okay, so a tiny bit lower.
A tiny bit lower.
Okay.
Right? And then the salary for an interior designer, who I'm hoping will be more depending on...
I think it is, because people charge a lot for that.
I think they might start lower though.
Yeah, no, but obviously once you've built yourself up, then...
Yeah. So, God.
What is it? Lower? 33
to 35K. Starting.
So it's like in the middle.
Starting, yeah.
Okay, starting.
But you could go up to 60 after a year, and you could go up to 100K.
Okay.
So you could be earning six figures as an interior designer, but I think it will take a lot of years of experience and all of that. So the jobs that you're thinking about
they're not
particularly jobs that will take you out of that 99%. They'll keep you within that 99%. Yeah. Unless, of course, you start now. That's why I'm so keen on making sure that you build a name for yourself now.
Yeah.
Right? You build a name for yourself now with your writing, whatever writing or interior design. If you want to do it, you start now. The idea that you do, University, you do education. When you become an adult, before you start to do the thing you love to do as a joke. So actually, if you love it, you start now.
Yeah.
You may not have the right skill set, but you do it to your best ability, and then top it up with the education to get you the right skills you need. And then you would have started the job market already having experience.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I say we continue with World Crown.
Yeah.
We need to get that application back to Company
Did
House.
you submit it?
No, because someone didn't remind me. Don't do that. Your job was to remind me.
My job was to remind you,
Yeah.
but it was your job to do it.
So that's that. Yeah, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to rush. I think between now and GCSE, that's the only focus. Let's just get GCSE out of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
My plan is to hand in my notice at work by September, October, and be back in London properly in January 2026.
Okay.
Then from there, it's going to be Project GCSE,
Okay.
right? Because we've discussed prep for GCSE before, haven't we?
I don't think so.
But prep for GCSE is tough.
Oh, yeah.
Some kids cry, some kids get stressed out. It's really tough. But the only reason why it's tough is because they leave it so late,
Yeah.
right? So 6 months before GCSE, you need to be prepped.
Okay.
As in, you need to do a lot of past papers. You need to be so prepped. You need to be ready.
Yeah, yeah.
And 6 months before GCSE, any subjects that haven't been taught to you, you would have had to have done them by then, so that your prep starts like
Yeah, we would have
hardcore.
done all of those
Yeah,
already.
hardcore prep for the 6 months before GCSE. Yeah, you do your prep in school. You do your prep with me. I can get you a tutor, whatever. I don't obviously want to bombard you, but you also have to make sure that you do enough prep so that the few weeks leading up to GCSE, chill.
Yeah.
Everyone in school is stressed out. Oh man, I don't know. You're just like, oh, it's okay. It's going to be fine. You're chill. Why? Because you've done all the work.
Yeah, our year 11s now in school, they've got like 50 days. There's like a
Wow.
notice on the thing. They put
Yeah.
a sheet on there.
Yeah.
Like, you know those whiteboards that you can
Yeah,
just
yeah,
stick
yeah,
up
yeah.
and then they change it every day. So like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like 57 days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they did it first time last week.
Yeah.
And we saw it. And then we saw it at the same time as the year 11s.
Yeah.
I saw there was this year 11 girl next to me.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my friends and she was with her friend, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, they were just silent. And because they were talking before, so I kind of like turned over to just to see like what was happening.
Yeah.
And I looked at the thing and the look on their faces, it was,
Just stressed in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want that for you. So we've got to, from next year, January is going to be work.
Where,
So that you're just chilled and relaxed. You know, you can even come back home like 3 weeks before GCSE, come back home and just watch movies all night with mommy and then go to bed. You don't have to like feel, okay, because you've done all the work.
Yeah.
That's how chilled I need you to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So we're going to do that. Shake on it.
Oh, so now you want to shake?
Yeah. There we go.
Shake, that's a high five.
I know it's not a shake. I have some videos I want you to watch.
Oh, not the videos again. You know what's been stuck in my head?
What?
Chicken, banana. Chicken, banana. Chicken, banana. Banana. Banana.
And
Chicken, banana.
So funny.
Stupid video.
Right.
So what's for lunch?
Did you not get my text?
You're picking lunch today. Excuse me. Oh.
You ready to open and see what's under here? We got snacks. Yeah, we got snacks. Okay, let's see how many I got. I got one. Let's see how many Gigi has.
What's this like to teach sharing?
Listen, have a cookie. What are we gonna do about that, Gigi? There's no more. This is all that's left.
Apples is crazy.
So you should give mommy apples. You should give mommy green apples.
What about my cookie? Apple, can I have a cookie? Oh.
So mommy should have the apple. Give mommy the apple.
That's crazy.
That's good. I love this kid.
Honestly, though, that's fair enough.
Huh?
That's fair enough.
That's very long.
That's fair enough.
Oh, that's fair enough. Would you have done that? You probably would.
For an Oreo as well.
Do you speak English?
Yes. Shit.
Do you know where the nearest subway station is?
Oh no, we speak English.
I'm trying to get my phone to work.
That's okay. But I think I could.
Do you know where the nearest subway station is?
One sec. I can check on the map.
1 sec.
Okay.
It's Marble Arch, so in that direction.
It's Marvel Arch, so in that direction.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Pause it for a second. How are you out here dying like that?
Because it's so stupid.
Do you know what the thing is though? You select all of these videos to watch. You find them so much funnier than I do. You don't even choose videos that you think I want to find funny. You just all like
This is funny.
in the background.
That is funny though.
Yeah. Okay.
That was hilarious. Okay, this is for you.
Is it really?
Let's go.
Oh, is this to quiz me?
Yeah.
Chile.
Okay.
C. Chile.
South Africa.
Wait, hold on. If you get all 30, I'll pick lunch. And I'll give you £10 or something.
£10.
Yeah. All 30.
South Africa.
Okay.
A. South Africa.
Romania.
A. Austria.
Albania.
B. Albania.
Argentina.
B. Argentina.
Belgium.
A. Belgium.
Denmark.
You sure it's not Ghana?
C. Denmark.
Ooh, I don't know that.
That's Fiji.
Fiji. Yeah.
A. Fiji.
Finland.
C. Finland.
I don't know. Ethiopia.
It is Ethiopia, yeah.
C. Ethiopia.
It's Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B. Georgia.
Jamaica.
If you got that wrong.
B. Jamaica.
Egypt.
A. Egypt.
Luxembourg.
A. Luxembourg.
Yeah.
That was a guess.
Yeah. Guatemala. I think.
B.
Yeah.
Guatemala.
Morocco.
B. Morocco.
I have no idea. B. Timor.
C. Togo.
Oh, I don't know.
So you've got 2 wrong now.
Shush. Angola.
B. Angola.
B.
A. Botswana.
3 wrong. I don't know. Bahamas.
Bahamas.
C. Bahamas.
Ireland.
B. Ireland.
Poland. No, Latvia.
C. Latvia.
I said it.
Nah, you said Poland.
I said it. Honduras. Oh.
That's 5 wrong.
5 wrong, but out of 24. I don't know.
A. Isle of Man.
I didn't even say anything for that one. Laos.
C. Laos.
Xbox Land.
Which one is it?
The first one.
You're such a Jew. Which one is that?
C.
C. Mauritius.
B.
B. Lesotho.
One more.
C. That's C. Yeah.
Well done. That was 6 wrong, so I win.
Come on.
What do you mean, come on? You're picking dinner and lunch and
That's
everything.
not fair though.
Thank you so much. That was good.
Wrapping up episode 4. Handshake this time, not high five.
But I'm going to wash my hands anyway.